Yes, present to everyone. Hide. There we go. Okay. Let's get back to work. So we got this migration. Let's run it. Right? Failed DB migrate. Oh, we ran that right before the time. Failed DB migrate. So now we have that column available to us.
So you want to again do it.
What?
You had already done it before.
Yeah, it won't do anything if I do it. So if we go to localhost 3000 /games/1, there it is, and then look at the end. Photo URL is null. So our games have the ability to have a photo URL now. Let's add that field to our view over here, so that we can.
So it's in our database. It's not.
Yeah. So let's go over here to the UI, cover. So game row. Go to the designer row and just copy that. Before we got a tweet. Game row. Props that photo URL. Instead of calling it an avatar, we'll call it box art, right? That's what it's going to be. It's going to be box art for the game. Cool. So big fat nothing. It's empty there. So let's go to the game list. And one thing we want to do is add a table heading now, an empty table heading for that. And we can just leave it empty. I don't need a label. Yeah, oh wait. Game list, game row. Oh, TR. Oops. Oops, you know what we didn't do? We didn't put it in the table data. There it is. There we go. So there's the space where it would be, right? And our styles, it's all empty because none of them have the thing. So it's not even printing that figure there, right? So we don't have a way to edit games yet. Right? We never added that feature to games. We only added it to designer. So what we could do is go copy all this code, right? But a better idea might be to refactor so that the stuff we did for listing designers and like editing and deleting, all of that works for games too. And then what do? We just want to pass it the props for maybe like what fields are on the form, what columns are in the table, right? Like what does that look like? But the actual logic of like the updating, deleting, maybe we can abstract that into some other components, right? So that's going to require a little bit of thinking and some exploring, but I think it's worth doing now because then if we go to add more stuff to the app, we get the benefit from that. So let's say something like we make a component called like an object list. We call it an object list or like a item list. We'll call it an item, right? What item is it? Is it a designer? Is it a game? I don't know, but it's an item, right? Maybe that's a good generic list. What do you think?
You don't want to put a name or something.
Yeah. Call it list. I want to prefix it with something.
So this is a list for game boards?
Yeah.
But the box. Is a box art.
Well, so we're going to add the box art, but before for our user interface doesn't have a way to edit the games. So right now we added all those features to designers. So how do we backport those features to games? So we could just go copy all that code and change it, right? But then what if we want to add something else?
Using the same.
And now, but yeah, so maybe we can create a general component that does the get and the put and the update and the delete, does all of that.
General name for that.
Yeah.
Update.
Wow. So because we're gonna have a row, we're gonna have a list, and we're gonna have a form, a card form. We're gonna have at least 3 components that are generic. And our game list is going to use that component to render all of that stuff. So let's just call it, let's call it generic list. Okay, so generic list, yes. So const, actually, so let's take the designer list. We're going to copy it, paste it in here. We'll call this generic row. Actually, yeah. Generic card form. Well, generic form. Generic form. This is a generic list. This is a generic list. Okay, so what we're going to do here is, these aren't designers anymore, right? These are just objects, right? We don't know what they are. Fetch designers. Well, really, this needs to be a prop that this component has. That is, what's the URL that you get these objects from, right? So it's not designers anymore. It's this dot props dot call it endpoint. Like the API endpoint, the URL. So get those, and then we set objects to be the data that comes back, right? That's all generic. That's all generic. Oh, this right here, that's the endpoint, right? This dot props dot endpoint. Delete, that's all generic. Cool. This part here, though, what we should be doing is just passing the objects yeah. Let me think. How do we want to do this? I like the idea that it can do that. So
because each one of it's going to render different.
Yeah.
So you have to, so you're trying to extract each render.
Yeah. So I'm trying to decide is, so there's going to be a designer list component, and maybe that should just implement the HTML view and then get past the objects as a prop, as these as a, yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, this isn't delete designer. Let's call this delete object. Right? Object. This is this dot state dot objects dot map. Call that O for object.
Trying to make this as generic as possible.
Yeah. So this would be, yeah, okay. This dot props dot row component. Yeah. 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 And then actually, let me think. We got these buttons too. Okay, so this will be this dot props dot name. Yeah, we'll do this dot props dot row component. This will be how much stuff is in the form. This. Yeah. Okay. And then this will be generic form. We'll pass as a prop. This dot props dot form component. So there's nothing in here that's designer specific anymore. I don't think we need that. Okay. So let's make a copy of this and call it generic form. You'll see the method behind my madness in a moment. So this is the generic.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm good.
This is going to take more refactoring than I think it's worth right now. I'm going to dial back. Let's dial back. This is a good idea, but really we're probably not going to add that many more views to this to make it worth it. We're just going to copy this stuff. So if we end up making a third thing, then we'll do it then.
Cool. Okay.
So let me make sure everything works. Okay, so what we need to do then is add the list. Delete. So we want to be able to delete a game. Let's add delete a game first. The game list. Delete game games. A little actually change there. And then for the designer list, test on edit and on delete. So for the game list, also in the past, those, delete, game. Modal editing. Oh, not that, for the modal. Yeah, let's do this split view here. Game list, designer list. There we go. Cool, we got those things. That looks good. That looks good. This changed a little bit. Show modal. Editing ID. editing is null when we close it, right? This takes the ID as an argument now. And up here, games, editing, null. So I think that component's straight. Designer row, so let's put game row down here. Game row, designer row. We'll just straight copy these. Boop, to right there. Okay, there's those buttons. Oh, on the list, we need an additional header here for those. Oops. Getting there. Right, so what else are we missing here? The form itself. Remember, we added all this stuff here to the form. And so the game, it was called the new game card. It's not going to be a new game card, right? It's going to be game form card. Game form card. The other change we made yesterday, game form card. Oh, card form, damn it. Game card form. Okay. So we make a new game. All we have right now is the name and the description, huh? All right, that's fine. Component did mount, so we got to do that, right? Component did mount, so we can fetch the data. That was right after the state there, but it's not designers, it's games. And yeah, we'll add photo URL to our form, why not? So, boop, boop. And this is photo URL and name, and description, or an empty string too, because I think that one could be empty for some games. Oops. Description, data dot. There we go. So we got those things. And change, that's the same. Handle submit. Ah, that changed, right? This whole handle submit is different. And the old one is really the update, right? This update. Name, description, and photo URL. Name, description, and photo URL. Oh, this is create. The only difference here with the create and update is that the update as this.props.editing for the ID. It's a patch. Otherwise, it's the same exact stuff. Yeah, and now we need a field for the photo URL. Let's just copy the one from the designer card. It should be exactly the same thing. Oh. Oh, so in the game list down here, we need to not render the old new game card component. It's the game card form component. This is game card form, game card form. Let me get rid of this. Data is not defined. Game card form. Line 7. Oh. Cool. Not photo of the designer though. Cool. And when we edit again, oh, fail. We got any warnings in the console? No. Let's see, can we? Oh, that didn't work either. We missed something. Object. Oh, we ran into that yesterday, didn't we? Editing. Card form, designer, card form. Start props, start editing. Designer list. Game list. Let's look at our React tools here. Game list. Editing is null. Click that. Editing is 1. Cancel. Add a game. Oh, why is that editing as a class? What is editing there now? Editing this dot state dot editing. See that? Editing. Game code form. Editing 1. Oh boy. I messed something up.
Slam there.
I did. Yeah. Let's figure it out. Okay, so the game list, the game row, game designer list. form. So game card form, designer card form. It's good. It's good. Prop.editing. Match. This stuff props. Why is it? Why is that an object? Oh. Oh. I think I got it. Game list. Add game. Where is it? 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 Add game. Designer list. Where's the button to add the game? There it is. Yes, right there. This needed to be wrapped in a function now. Otherwise, the event gets passed in instead of the ID. Ooh. There it is. Aha, that's working. Now what about editing one? Now that's a problem. Okay, so still through. Editing ID. Does a network request happen? No. Okay, so I click on the edit button of the game list. Game list. Edit, show modal, this dot game dot ID. And then on the game row, one click is this dot on edit. Designer row. It's not that. So in the game list, where's the game list? Game list. Show modal. Console.log. ID. Shown. One is shown. Two is shown. So that's working. I'm missing something. Missing one little thing. What is it? Designer list, games list.
So it's just in your editing.
Yeah, just when I'm editing. See, step props to editing games. If this dot props dot editing. Oh, are we not? That's state that editing. So let's see the game list. Editing is null. Editing is 1. Okay, so for the game, where's the modal? Game card form, editing is 1. So and a new game. Oh. I bet there's something. Okay, I know what we might have forgotten. I know where to look for what I might have forgotten. So here in the view, oh, we changed the component did mal, subprops editing, fetch. See, even that's not happening. Component did mal. Let's say console.log. Oh, it's never reloading. Remember how it didn't reload?
Oh, yeah.
Game list, designer list. So here we did this. If the modal's active, then show it. And here, I bet it's always being rendered. There it is, right there. That was it.
Oh, yeah, I remember doing that.
Yeah, so now it's this dot state dot modal active and that there. There it is.
Boom.
So now we can edit and delete our board games, right? So secret Hitler. We have the box art or like a picture of the game being played? Or just like a nice shot, like yeah, copy. All right, copy image address. Oh, ooh, I know what that was. Check this out. In the logs here, unpermitted parameter photo URL. Remember, that's the one we added. So what Rails does when you scaffold a controller is it takes all the parameters and says, these are the only parameters you're allowed to use. If you add more, those aren't in that list. You have to add them yourself. So in the app, in the controller for games, down here, it whitelists just those fields. No photo URL. So let's add the photo URL to that. Let's come over here and save it. Well, it saved it. Yeah, why isn't it? See, put it in the, it did. Set it in the database. So there's it doing the update. So let's go to where we expect it to see the games, props, photo URL, and figure class name. Oh, maybe it's there and we're just not seeing it because I don't have any CSS. Oh yeah, there it is.
So it's there, but it's not.
I know what it is. Remember, because we used background images instead of the image tag, and we did all those styles on the avatar class name, but not on the box art. Remember, because we changed this to box art, or we changed it back to avatar. There it is. But
we need to do a separate class to make it a
little wider. Yeah. So let's go ahead and call it box art. Yeah, we're gonna use wider pictures for these. So we'll go into the styles where we got index, CSS, avatar. So what we can do here is we can say figure, figured out box art, right? So it gets both of them get that style. But now for the box art, we'll change the width to be yeah. That looks good to me.
Oh, okay. So this overrides.
It does. So this is all styled to both of them, and then we don't just set height. We just set the width. If it's box art, it's wider. There we go. Now we could go, say, brass, Birmingham. And one thing I like about doing this is I love working in React. And I get to do all the fun stuff in React. The Rails app is so simple. It's literally just the controllers. Hey, I'm going to give you some data. Later on, when we add some authentication, we're going to have some authentication code in there to say, like, oh, you're not allowed to edit this. Maybe you are. But it's still really simple. And then we can do all the fun stuff in the front.
No, this is a square game, though.
Yeah, so let's see what it looks like.
Oh.
Looks all right. Let's see if they all look like that. We might have to get a little more clever with how we do this for these images, but let's get that blood rage. Blood rage. Okay. What other games we got? Hearthstone. Oh, that would be a good one. That would be a good one right there. That would be image address. It is. That looks great too. So I'll go through and fill those out later. So the next thing we want to do is add to our form those other things, the players, the duration, the age, also a drop down to pick the design. Right? We want to add that to the form for board games. And then once we got that, we will add a link here to take us to a details page for a game. It'll have all the details. You know, we should add some more columns, and then I want to add something to the maybe like a way to. But once we do authentication, we can add like favorites. You can bookmark your favorite games, right? Or maybe like a play counter. How many times have you played this game? Download what?
FIFA 19.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't have enough memory.